Welcome to Prime Documentaries. Let's begin.
Imagine walking through a forgotten cemetery before the sun has even risen. At first, everything seems completely normal until you notice something that shouldn't exist. Dozens of graves, each covered with a heavy stone hood. They weren't damaged. They were built this way on purpose. But why? That question has puzzled visitors for more than a century. Hidden among the rolling hills of eastern Pennsylvania lies the quiet town of Catawissa. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary American town where life moves quietly from one day to the next. Just beyond its quiet street stands an old cemetery that seems no different from countless others across America. Visitors usually expect to find rows of ordinary gravestones and a peaceful place to remember the past. But within moments, something unusual catches their attention. Instead of ordinary monuments, they discover graves protected by massive stone hoods. Many of these remarkable monuments have stood here for well over 100 years. Today, people travel from across the country to see these extraordinary graves not because of who is buried here, but because no one can fully explain why these mysterious stone hoods were ever built. To understand these unusual graves, we have to travel back to the 19th century. During the 1800s, Catawissa was a growing community where families placed great importance on honoring the dead. Many of the families buried here were among the town's most respected and financially successful citizens. Creating these monuments required highly skilled craftsmen who shaped every piece entirely by hand. Every detail demanded patience, precision, and weeks of careful labor. Even placing the heavy stone hood required teamwork and remarkable engineering for its time. Funerals during the Victorian era often reflected a family's social standing as much as their grief. Memorials were designed not only to honor loved ones, but also to leave a lasting legacy for future generations. Compared to ordinary gravestones, these hooded monuments required far more materials, labor, and craftsmanship. As a result, only families with considerable financial resources could afford monuments like these. But if these monuments represented wealth and respect, why were they built in such an unusual way? That question still remains unanswered. One of the most widely accepted theories is surprisingly practical. Some historians believe the stone hoods were designed to protect fragile inscriptions from rain and harsh weather. Over decades of changing seasons, the extra protection may have helped preserve these monuments for future generations. While this explanation makes practical sense, many researchers believe it doesn't tell the whole story. Another theory takes us into one of the darkest chapters of the 19th century. During that era, grave robbing was a real problem in parts of America, especially near medical schools. Some believe these heavy stone structures may have discouraged anyone attempting to disturb the graves. However, no historical record has confirmed that this was the true reason these monuments were built. Others believe the answer may lie in religious beliefs rather than practical design. Some researchers suggest the stone canopy symbolized God's protection over the deceased, yet no surviving document clearly explains whether this symbolism was ever intended by the families themselves. Theory 4. Local ghost legend. And then, there is the theory that locals still whisper about today. According to local legends, the stone hoods were built to keep restless spirits from leaving their graves. There is no evidence to support these stories, but they have been passed from generation to generation for decades. Whether these monuments were built for protection, symbolism, or something else entirely, their true purpose remains one of Pennsylvania's most enduring mysteries. As daylight fades, the stories surrounding this cemetery begin to change. For generations, local residents have shared stories that have become part of Catawissa's folklore. Some people claim the cemetery sounds different after sunset. They describe hearing unexplained whispers, distant footsteps, or strange sounds carried by the wind. Others say they have noticed shadow-like figures moving quietly among the graves. Most of these reports are impossible to verify and may simply be tricks of light, fog, or imagination. Even today, some visitors prefer to leave before darkness falls. Not because of any confirmed danger, but because of the stories they've heard for years. Historians have found no reliable evidence proving any supernatural events ever occurred here. These tales remain local legends, passed from one generation to the next without documented proof. Whether you believe these stories or not, one thing is certain. The Hooded Graves of Catawissa continue to capture the imagination of everyone who visits. Even after more than 100 years, nobody knows with complete certainty why these remarkable stone hoods were built. No document has ever provided a final answer, leaving historians with more questions than conclusions. Perhaps these remarkable structures were simply built to protect the graves from the forces of nature. Or perhaps they reflected the customs, beliefs, and traditions of a very different era. Or maybe some mysteries were never meant to be completely understood. Across America, countless forgotten places continue to hide stories waiting to be discovered. If you enjoy forgotten places, mysterious history, and unexplained stories from America, subscribe to Prime Documentaries, because our next journey may uncover another mystery hidden in plain sight. Until next time, thank you for watching.